This is the introduction to fundamental word structure. So what we're going to be talking about in this unit is we're going to be talking about how words come together and also how to break them apart. So when you're looking at medical terminology is a lot like learning a brand new language. So that new language has a whole bunch of different rules and ways that you can build different terms that allows you to be able to put these words together from their independent pieces like that they are a puzzle. Okay? So it is impossible to be able to assemble a database in your mind of all of the thousands and thousands of medical terms. There's no way that it's going to be humanly possible for you to be able to have a database in your brain for all these different medical terms. However, if you can break the medical terms into their specific parts, then you can identify what those specific parts are, and you can then start to decipher the meaning of those words. So if you look at the word root or the combining forms of those words, we'll talk about that a little bit more on the next lesson, or prefixes or suffixes, if you look at those different words and be able to tell the different parts, you can look at that. So give me just a second. I have a word, and we will break that word up into its individual parts. So if you look at this word, oh, it didn't go to my iPad. Sorry, some technical difficulties. But if you look at this word, cardiogram, you can look and see that there are different parts of this word. So you probably recognize the word part cardio, okay? Cardio means dealing with the heart. And it actually has this O on here. This O is actually what we call a connecting vowel, okay? That connecting vowel just allows the word parts to get jammed together and make them a little bit easier for everything to work together and to make it easier to pronounce. Then if you look at the word root gram, gram just like means picture. Just like if you look at the word Instagram, Instagram means instant picture. So a cardiogram is taking a picture of the heart. So even if you didn't know that word, you probably knew a couple of the parts associated with it, and so you were able to figure out the meaning of that word. So this is not the hardest thing in the world, and it sounds really intimidating. It's actually much less intimidating than you think it might be. So if you're looking at these basic word parts, you have the word root. If you are looking for the meaning of the word root is probably where you should start, okay? You should probably start with the word root because the meaning of that word is probably going to be located there. So think about when we talked about cardiogram, okay? When we talked about the word cardiogram, we looked at the cardio part first because that let us know that we're dealing with the heart. Then you can see prefixes and suffixes are modifying that word root. So you looked at the suffix gram, and we figured it out that that word or that suffix meant picture. So by looking at the suffix, we knew that we were talking about a picture of the heart. And then the combining vowel in that word made it where we could make that word said easier. Okay? Now, just like everything in language, we have rules, but there are always exceptions to those rules. So there will be things that don't follow the rules that we're about to talk about, but they are few and far between. It's still worthwhile to study the basic rule set. So looking at these medical terms, we've already talked about cardiogram. It's a record or a picture of the heart, and the word root there is cardi. But you can see if you throw some other parts around there, it changes the whole meaning of the word. So cardiogram is a record or a picture of the heart. If you put the prefix peri, peri means around the heart, so the pericardium is the tissue that surrounds your heart. Kind of treats your heart like like an orange. You know how an orange has a little bit of that tissue that surrounds the orange after you take the peel off? That's kind of like what the pericardium is like. Suffix thrown at the end of a word affects the meaning of the word. So if you see the word carditis, itis is inflammation of, and cardi is heart. So carditis is an inflammation of the heart. And then you see several combining forms put together. You see cardi, my, and then pathy is a suffix. So if you see the word cardiomyopathy, that means the disease, pathy means disease of the heart muscle. That's it for today. I will see you guys